What's up, everybody? It's Tsetzuko here, and in this video I wanted to talk about World of Warcraft. There's obviously been a lot of news, a lot of spicy news that is kind of controversial, and as someone who has made a lot of WoW content and played a lot of World of Warcraft and happens to have a YouTube channel with a viewer base that appreciates that game to some degree, or at least keeps up with it, I wanted to take a few moments here and talk about what I think about the things that are going on with World of Warcraft and the things that are going on with Activision Blizzard. So in this video, I want to talk about three different big broad topics. The first one is I want to talk about the loss of customers and players by Blizzard. I want to talk about patch 9.1, what we're expecting, what sort of content is there, and what all that means. And I also want to talk about the Burning Crusade Classic. So you guys know what's coming. I'm assuming you guys have probably seen Bellular or Asmongold or any other number of WoW content creators already jump on and rant and ramble about this. And yeah, you're probably going to get a little bit of the same here with me, but I think I have a slightly different perspective on it. So let's take a minute and kind of talk about what's been going on in the community in general. There's a lot of negativity surrounding World of Warcraft at the moment, and Blizzard in general. They've been losing huge portions of their player base. There's been a huge content drought for Shadowlands between the release of 9.0 and the upcoming release of 9.1, and there's been a lot of drama around some of Blizzard's monetization policies, especially concerning things like World of Warcraft. So many of the WoW content creators out there are rightfully upset, in my opinion, and have said some very mean things, I guess is how you would put it, about Blizzard. 100% justified, in my opinion. So before we jump in and I give my opinion, I want to make sure that I take the time to actually update you about these things, just in case you have not seen them. So we're going to switch over here and take a look. I got three sort of articles pulled up here, and I'm going to get you up to speed really quick on what these are. So we're going to catch up on them, and then we're going to talk about them. So, Activision Blizzard had their Q1 2021 financial review with their stockholders, shareholders, and we've seen that Blizzard has lost almost 29% of its overall active player base in 3 years. Now, there's a couple of really notable things here. Not Activision Blizzard, Blizzard. So specifically Blizzard, the company behind World of Warcraft, Diablo, Hearthstone, StarCraft, etc., has lost 29% of its overall active player base in 3 years. That's pretty huge. But if we continue on into the article here, something that we will notice, and I'm not sure if they listed in here, but yes, here we go. In any case, we now have Q1's results, which were actually just fine. Better than fine, with revenues of $2.2 billion, a significant increase compared to this quarter last year, though, of course, this quarter last year wasn't great to begin with. Once again, the moneymakers are Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Candy Crush. So if we look here, Activision Blizzard's operating margin was 43% and earnings per diluted share were 0.98 as compared to 0.76 for the first quarter of 2020. So, as to Blizzard specifically, the company talks up WoW Classic and World of Warcraft Shadowlands, which apparently drove Blizzard's revenue growth of 7% year over year. Hearthstone appears to be doing well too. So right here, it's kind of tiny, but we can notice this here. It says World of Warcraft Shadowlands expansion continued to drive strong results following its record-setting release in November, with first quarter franchise net bookings growing sharply year over year. World of Warcraft saw strong reach, engagement, and participation in value-added services, along with a particularly high number of new players joining the community for the first time, boosted by initiatives to enhance the onboarding experience. So value-added services are basically your microtransactions and your paid services. So what they're saying is the game saw strong reach, engagement, and microtransaction purchases. Below this, we're going to see, as we noted last month, Blizzard continues to lose monthly active users across all of its titles. It's now lost 11 million players in the last 3 years, or 29%, as measured by Blizzard's own preferred monthly active user count. 2 million of those dried up just since Q4 2020. Brutal. Monthly active users is going back to Q1 2028 to 2018. These are the numbers. Okay, so 2018 Q1 saw 38 million active users. And then if we switch to Q1 2020, 27 million active users. And the big thing to point out here is we go 38, 7, 7, 35, 32, 32, 33, 32, 32, 32, 30, 29, 27. So it's not unusual to see that sort of dip. If you look here, we've got 37 million to 35 million, a 2 million drop off here. And this was the Diablo Immortal-y type era, I believe, with the mass layoffs and everything else. So this was a huge rebellion against Blizzard and everything that they were doing. And you could see that they kind of stabilized out to that 32 million. And then again, there was a drop between Q2 2020 and Q3 2020. So this is basically around the time that COVID hit. And generally, most video game companies actually saw a spike in monthly active users during this time period. Because more people were staying at home, more people wanted things to do, they couldn't go out. So to see a 2 million drop during COVID is actually more significant, I think, than seeing this 2 million drop here, because this was kind of that little rebellion against Activision Blizzard's actions during that time. Then we see a continued decline during COVID-19, and then we see another 2 million drop off during Q1 2020. Now, I attribute this to a number of different things, okay? So first off, let's talk about the facts here, right? They lost 30% or so of their user base, but they gained in revenue. So there's a couple things going on here. It's pretty obvious that the gains in revenue are coming from microtransactions, and if you lose players, but you make more money because you are pumping out more microtransactions, what's that going to do? It's going to incentivize you to make more microtransactions, to make more of those value-added purchases available to customers so that you can milk the people that will spend on your game for every penny that they're worth. And we're going to see some of that here coming up soon. And I think that this is significant because it's a trend that they're going to see. And I think they're going to pursue that. And rather than try to regain the 30% of the player base that they've lost, I really do feel like they're just going to continue to try and monetize the player base that currently remains. So we have that aspect of they lost the user base, and we also have the aspect of they made more money. So if we take a look at the loss in the user base, to me, it seems pretty obvious why this has occurred. And it's actually a little bit crazy to me when you think about it. Think about the games that Activision Blizzard has produced, and then think about the games that just Blizzard has produced. Okay, we're going to pop this up over here, and I want to show you guys this. So if you are here on the Battle.net launcher, you can click on the tab here and look at Blizzard games. Okay, this is what's available in the Battle.net launcher for Blizzard. Okay, Activision's got 5 games, and they're basically like all Call of Duty, which it does the trick for them. But there's plenty of other games that Activision puts out that aren't on the launcher. Basically, everything Blizzard related is on the launcher. So what do we have here? We've got the Blizzard Arcade Collection. Okay, that's kind of a throwaway, small purchase, one-time game. We have StarCraft Remastered, which is basically dead. We've got Heroes of the Storm, which they killed. We've got StarCraft 2, which is no longer getting content made for it. We've got Warcraft 3 Reforged, which was a cluster truck nightmare. We've got Diablo 3, which is basically a dead game. They keep putting out League mechanics, but they're not really innovating or making new content for it. We've got Overwatch, which is basically just relegated to like seasonal events and stuff while they're working on Overwatch 2. We've got Hearthstone, which is one of the only games on this list that is continuing with its normal release cadence of having 3 expansions per year. We've got Diablo 2 Resurrected, which isn't even out yet and is a remake of an old game. or a remaster of an old game. And then we have World of Warcraft, which has the classic version, which has basically been done for a while in terms of patches. And we have Shadowlands in retail World of Warcraft, where there's basically been a huge content drought because there has not been any major updates or patches since the release of Shadowlands, which has been, it's not quite a year, but it's been, 6 months at least, 6-7 months, with no major content updates. So when you look at this, Blizzard has nothing going on. They've got nothing going on. They have Diablo 2 Resurrected, which isn't out. They have Overwatch 2, which isn't out. They have Diablo 4, which isn't out. And that's all we know of, aside from Diablo Immortal, that they're actively working on. The only thing that is consistently releasing content is Hearthstone. And even with World of Warcraft, where normally you would have those consistent patches, there's been a lot of slowdown with 9.1. So to me, it's easy to see why Blizzard would have lost 30% of their user base, but more specifically, why they have taken such a huge nosedive in the past year. Even with COVID, it's like it should have been a spike, but the content's just not there, right? They don't have anything on the table that people can play and get excited about that's new. They've just been in this stale sort of situation since Shadowlands came out and since the last couple of classic patches came out. So what's Blizzard going to do about this? How are they going to turn this around? What are they going to do? Well, I mentioned it before. I think they're going to increase the amount of value-added services that are available to customers so that they can continue to make revenue while they're working on these games that are not yet released. I think they're going to try to reinvigorate the hype behind some of those games and just hope for the best, I guess. So that brings us to a couple of other things here. So if we jump back over and we take a look at the next thing I've got pulled up here, we've got patch 9.1 for World of Warcraft Shadowlands. So patch 9.1 is the first major content patch for Shadowlands. It marks the beginning of Shadowlands Season 2, and it is got a new zone. It's got some stuff here. We're going to look at the actual content overview. So here are the highlights per Wowhead. We've got a new zone, Korthia, the City of Secrets, which per most people testing on the PTR feels pretty empty, and a lot of the content there feels like the same repetitive stuff that WoW has been doing for a long time now. We have a 10 boss raid, which is probably going to be as good as all the other raids, an 8-boss mega dungeon, some new world bosses, additional Torghast content and systems, which we'll talk about later, new Mythic Plus season, a new affix, a new PvP season, new Covenant campaigns, 40 more levels of renown, yay! Unlock flying, new pets, mounts, toys, transmog sets, and secrets. And this is where you're going to get a little bit of frustrated, angry Tsetzuko. This is the same shit that they do every patch, every expansion, over and over and over and over and over and over again, that makes this game feel so fucking stale and just lifeless. Okay, 10 boss, okay, we got a new raid. Cool, you give us a new raid every time. A new mega dungeon. Wow. Okay. New world bosses. Okay, that's 5 minutes of content a week. We've got a new Mythic Plus season with a new affix. Woo! Okay. New PvP season. Okay. New Covenant campaigns. Might be a little bit spicy, right? If you enjoyed the Covenant campaign so far. A little bit more story, but as we've seen in the past, a lot of times they drip feed this content to us so that it takes, 4 or 5 weeks for it to complete. But if you wait and you can skip all the time gates, it's actually 3 hours of content at best. After almost, at this point, probably almost a year of not having any content. 40 more levels of renown. Oh, thank you. I really wanted to grind more freaking XP rep bars. That's thank you so much. 40 more levels of renown. I just... Why? And hey, you can unlock flying like you can every single freaking expansion because they gate it behind the time for reasons that I do understand, but stop acting like unlocking flying is a piece of content. It's not. It's not a piece of content. It's like, hey, guess what, guys? We know you couldn't open your inventory bags, for 3 months, but hey, in this patch we're adding inventory unlocks. You can now open your bags. It's like, oh, that's not a feature. New pets, mounts, toys, transmog sets, and secrets. Honestly, who cares at this point? Like, who cares at this point? Like, you think that, like, repeating this cycle and throwing more cosmetics at people, you think that's what people want, but and maybe, again, maybe I'm just a different type of player, a different type of consumer at this point, and I'm too old and jaded and stuff, and, the way I want to play the game, that's just not the way the game is made anymore or something, but this is so boring. This is so boring. It's so stale. It's so sad for a major content patch for a new expansion. The most interesting thing here would be the new zone, which is Korthia. But if we look back at the new zones in BFA, like when they added Mechagon and they added Nazjatar, I just don't care, man, because the systems and stuff that they put into those zones, it's the same repetitive shit every time. Here's a new rep to grind. Okay, here's a new resource you have to collect. Okay, here's more daily quests that are still boring and uninteresting and feel more like chores than anything else. And I don't know, like I said, maybe at this point I'm just too old, I'm just too jaded, I just want to play a different type of game or whatever, but I honestly don't think that's true because there are MMOs that to a degree still capture that fun for me. And that I've been able to enjoy to some degree. Granted, I know where I stand on MMOs. I know that, I'm not going to know life in MMO anymore because that's just not where I'm at. I have other things that I want to do, other games that I want to play, and I don't knock anyone who wants to do that. And as a matter of fact, I feel like if I can't dip my toes into the game and enjoy it for what it is without no-lifing it, how's it for the people that do want to know life in MMO? How disappointed do you feel in the content that's being put out and the repetitive cycles that Blizzard keeps running you through? I imagine you probably feel worse than I do, unless you genuinely love this stuff and you haven't been doing it for 8-10 plus years, so it hasn't felt like your 10th year at the same job doing the same thing over and over again that you've been doing for 10 years. But that's kind of what it's starting to feel like. Not what it's starting to feel like. What it's felt like for me for quite a while now is okay, I'm grinding away at the same job. I don't get a promotion. We don't change systems. We don't get new technology. We don't import, we don't get new products or services or things to get excited about and to excite our customers about. We just go, you know what? I've been selling this burger for 10 years and I'm just going to keep selling this burger for 10 years. There's some good restaurants out there that have really good food, and even they know that sometimes you got to spice it up and just throw in, a random seasonal item that you can get off the menu just to keep yeah, we got a core menu that's great, but we're going to spice it up for the customers and give them something new to try, even if we do take it away every now and again. They know the strength of that, and I feel like WoW's attempt at that is half-assed or non-existent a lot of times. So there's one big thing I want to touch on here before we move on to talking about the Burning Crusade, and that is going to be this. Additional Torghast content systems and rewards. I've been away from the game for a little bit now. I've popped back in to try to do a little bit of Torghast. There's one positive that I see here, and that's recently Sloot did an interview with one of the lead developers of WoW. I forget what his name is, Morgan something. And, Sloot asked about leveling in Torghast, and the response that he got is, yeah, I think that makes sense, but it's not something that we would do in 9.1. It might be something that we do in 9.1.5. And I still stand on the fact that if Torghast becomes a means for leveling in World of Warcraft Shadowlands, then I will probably pick it back up and play it again. Not because I think Torghast is amazing, but because I think it's significantly better content to level in when compared to the normal campaign, playing that 12 plus times, or going through the Threads of Fate system and just kind of grinding it out via the overly exciting World Quest system and the bonus events. I think Torghast is just a way better way to level. It'd be more interesting, more entertaining than either of those. And that might get me to actually level up my characters and kind of get into some of the in-game systems there. That I've gotten into some of them, but only on 1 or 2 characters. So that's the kind of one good thing, is that they haven't ruled out the possibility of leveling in Torghast, and it does seem like they are actually they view it in a positive light. But when is 9.1.5 going to come out? Is it going to be 6 months after 9.1? Who knows? So like I said, I've been away from the game for a little bit now. And I was very surprised, I guess. How to put this? I was surprised to hear that it was called Chorghast, but I also wasn't. Like, that's the nickname that Torghast has, Chorghast. And I say I was surprised to hear that because I feel like Torghast could have been something really great. But I wasn't surprised to hear that because I know what they did to it. I played the version in the beta, and I played the version in live, and I know what they did to it. And for me, just dipping my toes into it every now and again, it seems fine. Like, it's not as exciting as it was, but it seems fine. But I know for many people that are out there that have been playing regularly and have been doing their Torghast runs to get their Soul Ash because they need to level up their legendaries or get them in the first place, yeah, I could see how running it 2 times a week, every week, over and over again, it would definitely start to feel like a chore, especially given the fact that Torghast is just a shell of a roguelike and doesn't have any of the heart, soul, spirit, and excitement that most roguelikes do that it totally could have if they just made a couple of adjustments. So the additional Torghast content, systems, and rewards that are coming in patch 9.1, so far from what I've seen, I don't think they'll solve that problem. I think Torghast will still feel like a chore. I think at this point, the only things that they're kind of adding in are bragging rights type things. There's going to be like a leaderboard, and you're going to be able to get rated on a star system based on how well you do, and that's fine. But if the gameplay and the content itself isn't actively fun and engaging, like, I don't care about. That's like saying like, oh man, I'm highest on the leading board for sweeping the floor. Like, okay, great. I don't enjoy sweeping the floor, but it's nice to know that I got a good score when I did it. And that's kind of, again, Chorghast. Like, I think it's going to be the same thing there, where it feels like what you're doing is a chore, but now you got 4 stars. And that just seems pretty awful. So 9.1, I think at this point, kind of, there's no official release date, but the sort of expected release date for it is August, which puts it at about 10 months, I think. 9 or 10 months since the release of Shadowlands that this first patch is coming out. And again, this first patch is looking like, I mean, it might as well be 9.0A or B or whatever. Like, it's the same stuff they've done over and over again. Same new Mythic Plus season, new PvP season. Like, okay. There's nothing thrilling going on here. So let me get into the next piece of news here, which is the Burning Crusade Classic and the cluster truck that is at the moment. So I recently made a video about the Burning Crusade Classic. I was playing the beta, and I was talking about how I was potentially excited to play the game and interested in it and wanted to play with some friends. And I still have mixed feelings about that. I still don't know if it's something that I want to do or I don't want to do. Like, a part of me wants to replay the Burning Crusade because it's something I've always wanted to do, and I've kind of wanted to experience that again because the Burning Crusade really, for me, was like the formative World of Warcraft experience for me. Like I played a lot during vanilla and I enjoyed it, but Burning Crusade is where I felt like I really got the game and I understood it and I no-lifed it really hard. And, being able to go back and experience that, I think that has some value to me, but also like I was no-lifing it and I can't no-life it now. So I don't know if I'm just going to taint my experience and ruin it by jumping in and trying to play Burning Crusade Classic. So I've got some kind of mixed feelings there, but some of the stuff that they've done with the Burning Crusade Classic already pre-launch has me very wary. So if you're not aware, I talked about this before, but the Burning Crusade Classic coming out has an impact on WoW Classic. So the first thing is that when the Burning Crusade Classic comes out, you're going to have the option to either let your character progress into the Burning Crusade, or you can copy that character onto a Classic server where it just stays Classic WoW and you can play Classic WoW without, the Burning Crusade affecting anything. Now, when they announced that that was going to be the case, I thought this was a really positive thing. And I assumed that it would just be like a thing where it popped up a window and you made a choice one way or the other. And they did clarify that you can actually, make a copy of your character so that you can do both. Right. And I thought that basically what was going to happen is that, you'd log in, it would pop up a window or something and it would say, hey, do you want to continue on Classic Realms or do you want to go to the Dark Portal and experience the Burning Crusade? And based on which one you picked, that would be the default that your character did. And then if you wanted to, you could copy your character one way or the other. Because I assumed that if you wanted to go Burning Crusade, you would just go Burning Crusade. And if you wanted to go Classic, you would just do that. And then if you wanted to, you could copy your Classic character over to Burning Crusade and continue. That is not how things are working. So, Blizzard. So here's what's actually happening. When the Burning Crusade comes out, all characters will move forward into the Burning Crusade, but you have the option to copy your characters over to a WoW Classic server. That costs $35 per character. So, basically what that means is if you're playing World of Warcraft right now, World of Warcraft Classic, and you have 4 characters, and you don't want any of them to continue into the Burning Crusade, based on my understanding of this, tough. You better pay $35 per character to copy them over to the WoW Classic servers. Which means you are spending $140 on a game that you already pay a subscription for in order to keep playing the game the way that you want to play it. Even though Blizzard made it sound like it wasn't going to be a big deal, they're charging $35. Now, I understand having some sort of charge tied to this service to an extent. I think everybody should, if they're going to do it this way, I think everybody should get a free character copy. So you can copy one character over totally free. And then if you want to copy more characters, then I think the price should be somewhere between like 10 to 15 bucks per character. At that point, if you have 4 characters, you get a free copy, and then you're paying 45 bucks to copy the other 3 over. That'll cover like server costs and that kind of stuff for setting that up, the maintenance of those servers, and just the development time needed in the future if there are any bugs or anything that need to occur or that come up and need to be fixed, even though those should be few and far between because they already have this version of the game out. But I understand that there is a maintenance cost to that. And that would more than cover the cost of it, I would assume. And that would be fine and a lot more fair than I think what is currently ongoing. So I think this is a little underhanded. It's a little sneaky. It's a little sinister, in my opinion, that they did this in a way where it feels like if you want to continue to play Classic, you're forced to pay money, which to me just is very corporate focused, not customer focused. It seems like just gross. If I'm being honest, like. And again, like, this is my understanding of it. I'm not sure if, like, this is the one area of this that I may be misinterpreting, but I don't think I am. But to me, the whole situation there just seems gross. Like, that just seems like I mean, what are you going to do if you're playing WoW Classic and you got excited to play WoW Classic and you are now like forced to pay all this money to continue to play this game? Like, it just seems really underhanded. So if my understanding of that is wrong, let's just say, just in case, that I don't have that right, then they do it the other way where you do get to choose. It just doesn't sound like that's what they're doing. Like, I don't see how that works. Like, it just sounds like everybody's progressing in a Burning Crusade classic, and you go from there. So moving on to other aspects of this, right? So you have the character copy stuff costing $35. Okay, fine. We've already talked about that. Now they announced the character copy, or not the character copy, a character boost for Burning Crusade Classic, right? So if you hadn't been playing Classic, or even if you had and you wanted to, go into Burning Crusade with a different class, you would have the option to do a level boost, just like you can in retail, where you would boost a character up to 58 and then get like leveled professions and some gear and some gold and that kind of stuff. That seemed great to me. That is how I intended to play the Burning Crusade Classic, because I have not been playing WoW Classic. I appreciate it for what it was, but I didn't want to invest my time into it anymore. And so for me, it was like a no-brainer. Okay, if I want to play Burning Crusade Classic, I pay X amount of dollars, I boost my character up, and I'm able to play with my friends. I fully expected the character copy to be $60, just like it was or is in retail. And in actuality, I think the character copy is not the character copy, the character boost is like $40. So it's $40 to boost a character to be able to play during the Burning Crusade, to start out at level 58. And as of right now, you can only do that once per for one character. So I say for now, because I imagine it's something they'll change their mind on, because they heard the customers in the future, and it's just an easy way for them to make more money. So $40 to boost a character up to level 58 to play the Burning Crusade when it comes out. Okay. So that's better than I expected, but probably worse than other people expected. I think a lot of people were hoping for $25 or $30, somewhere around in there. $40 is not that far off the mark from those expectations, I think. And like I said, I expected 60. Honestly, I thought that Blizzard, being the way they were, they would go for the greedy route and go $60. So next up, they announced the Burning Crusade Classic Deluxe Edition. And this is where I think a lot of people are losing their minds. And I honestly, I'm on both sides of the fence on this, okay? So let's talk about what the Deluxe Edition is and what's in it. The Deluxe Edition, as you can see here, costs $70, okay? It includes many items that can be used in the Burning Crusade pre-patch, such as the leveling boost and Hearthstone, but also contains a mount that can be used in the live Shadowlands game. Why is this exclamation mark there? Anyway. If you don't wish to purchase this, the base game is still free with your WoW subscription. So, okay, you're paying $70, but you're not paying for the game. So what are you paying for? Okay, you're paying for a Phase Hunter Shadowlands mount. So you can use this mount in Shadowlands. And you're paying for a version of this mount for the Burning Crusade. So you can use this one in the Burning Crusade Classic. Okay, so you get one mount, but you get two versions of it. So it's kind of like getting two mounts, right? You also get a Dark Portal Hearthstone that you can use in Burning Crusade Classic. You get a Path of Illidan toy, which causes your footsteps to leave flickering fellfire in their wake for a short time. And you get the Dark Portal Pass, really close to a battle pass, which is the character boost to level 58. And you also get 30 days of World of Warcraft time. Okay, so let's look at the value of this, right? 30 days of World of Warcraft time is valued at $15. The Dark Portal Pass is valued at $40. That puts us up to $55. And then we've got two mounts, a toy and a Hearthstone. So for $15, you're getting two mounts, you're getting a Hearthstone effect, and you're getting a toy. That seems reasonable based on the prices that Blizzard puts most of this stuff at. And that's kind of where I take issue. I think that $70 for the Burning Crusade Classic Deluxe Edition with everything that's in it, if you look at it purely from a put the numbers together sort of perspective, is a pretty good deal. But I think if you compare it to other deluxe editions, and if you just look at what they're valuing these services and features at, it looks like dog shit. So if we were to go and look up WoW Shadowlands Deluxe. So let's pull this up here. So with the deluxe edition of Shadowlands, let's say we're going to look at the Epic Edition, which is $80 instead of $70. If we go down here, what do you get? Well, one, you get an expansion. You get an entire expansion. Okay? An entire expansion. Not a re-release of an old version of the game. Note, the Burning Crusade Classic is not a remaster. It's not a remake. It's just a re-release of the old game. I know it takes some development resources and stuff to make that happen, but you're not creating an entirely new expansion. Okay, so you get an expansion, you get a mount, a leveling boost, another mount, you get a transmog set quest, you get a weapon effect, a Hearthstone, 30 days of game time, and a pet. So let's look at this, okay? There's one mount, there's two mounts. What do we get over here? Two mounts. Okay. What else do we have? We've got, oh, look, a Hearthstone. Okay, we get a Hearthstone effect here. We've got a toy. Do we have a toy? We got a weapon effect. And we got a transmog set quest. That's probably equal to a toy. What else do we have? Oh, the character boost. Well, what do you know? There's a character boost in here as well. 30 days of WoW time. Hey, 30 days of game time. So for all intents and purposes, this is equivalent to the deluxe edition of the Burning Crusade Classic, with the huge major difference of you're paying for the damn expansion. And everything else here kind of feels like extra. The base edition of the game that just comes with Shadowlands and one mount is valued at $40. So subtract that from this and you're left with $30. So on this, a mount, a character boost, your transmog, your weapon effect, your Hearthstone, your game time, etc. Let's take the game time out of that $30, right? So now we're down to $15. So in this scenario, for $15, you're getting a pet, you're getting a Hearthstone, you're getting the weapon effect, you're getting the transmog quest, and you're getting a flying mount. It's roughly kind of maybe equivalent, but not really. And let's be honest, like, do we really count this as two mounts? It's literally just the same mount for two different versions of the game. Not to mention, what if you don't have Shadowlands? They've done this before where they have essentially offered promos for other Blizzard games, even though you might not have those games. Okay, so this is not a new or uncommon occurrence for Blizzard. It's something that they've done before where, like, oh, hey, you logged into World of Warcraft and you got to level 20, here's a Hearthstone mount. Or here's a Hearthstone card back. Or, hey, you logged into Hearthstone, here's a Hearthstone mount in World of Warcraft. Or here's some wings in Diablo. So this sort of like cross-game promotion, regardless of whether or not you actually own the game, is something that Blizzard has been doing for years now. What kind of blows my mind is, like, why didn't they just, like, include, like, why isn't this a different version of Shadowlands Deluxe? I mean, I get it, but could they not just toss in Shadowlands here? I mean, you're paying $70. You're paying $70 for a game that is free as part of your subscription that you pay every month. It seems like they could have made this $80 and given you Shadowlands. Or they could have kept it at $70 and given you Shadowlands. Or hell, maybe they could have, like, had some more realistic prices about these things, and they could have said, hey, you know what, maybe a character boost isn't worth $40. Or, you know, hey, maybe these mounts aren't worth X amount of dollars a piece. Maybe they could have just brought this all down to, like, a nice $50 number or something if they weren't going to give you Shadowlands. So, you know, at the end of the day, you don't got to buy it. That's the thing. At the end of the day, you don't have to buy this. So why is it a big deal? It's a big deal because Blizzard has lost 30% of their player base in the past 3 years, but they have increased the revenue that they've made during that time. This is it. This is part of the reason why. The more this stuff happens, the more the margin for the number of customers they're willing to sacrifice for their revenue is going to grow. And the more you're going to see this kind of repetitive stuff just pushed out because it's good enough, and people will still buy this kind of stuff, even though this gets repetitive, this gets old, and this gets stale. And so for the people like myself, and maybe the people like you who want to play World of Warcraft for the gameplay, you want to play for the story, you want to play for the enjoyment of experiencing an MMO with your friends or your guildmates, that experience is going to suffer because they're going to come up with more ideas like this, and people are going to continue to buy them, and that margin is going to continue to grow between what counts as good enough for gameplay while also continuing to make them a profit. And that's kind of where I'm at with all this stuff that's been going on with World of Warcraft and Blizzard. Is I feel like at this point, it's a numbers game. And I feel like the people who are in charge, the people who are making these decisions, they see that and they go, oh, well, it's good enough. I mean, we're still making money and we're not having to be as creative or as innovative or as interesting. And yeah, we lost 30% of our customers, but we made more money, and that's okay. And why do I think that? Because honestly, like that's how businesses can operate. Okay, I've run a few businesses myself, and at the end of the day, you figure out what your customer base is. And if you have 10 customers and they're all willing to pay you $10 a piece, so you can make $100 or whatever, and it takes you 10 hours to work in order to satisfy those 10 customers to get that $100, or you have 5 customers that are willing to pay you $20 a piece to get that $100, and it takes you 5 hours to do the work that you need to satisfy those customers and get the $100, it does make business sense, generally speaking, in the short term, to just appease the 5 people. If 5 hours, 5 people get you $100, why would you spend 10 hours on 10 people getting $100? If you're looking at things from that short-sighted view, it makes sense to appeal to the 5 people. And I think that that's what a lot of these companies that are publicly traded are doing, is they're looking at what's the quarterly revenue, what's the year-over-year revenue, and they're not looking at what's the player base going to look like in 3 years. If we jump back over here and we look at these numbers, like this to me, this is exactly that. It's Blizzard going, oh yeah, you know, our quarterly earnings are up. Oh, our year over year is up. Our quarterly's up. Our year over year is up. But somewhere back here, they didn't think about what's our player base going to look like in 3 years. Because maybe they would have made some different decisions if they knew they were going to lose 11 million monthly active users in the next 3 years. But they're not. They're too short-sighted, I think. So what do I think Blizzard is going to do going forward? Like I said, I think they're going to increase those value-added services that are available: character boost, character copies, mounts, deluxe editions, microtransactions. I'm honestly of the opinion that we're not that far away from some sort of battle pass mechanic for World of Warcraft. They might not call it a battle pass because you do have a monthly subscription, but I could totally see if they put something out like... Can you guys not see this? And I hope Blizzard never listens to this and takes this idea, but hey, we're going to implement a battle pass system where 90% of what's on the battle pass you get just from being a subscriber and participating in this boring shit that we put out. You know, hey, do 5 daily quests every day and you get Battle Pass XP, and then, hey, all this stuff you guys can get, but for $5. Just $5? Just $5, guys. Just $5 more. Look at this. We're going to throw in a mount. We're going to throw in a toy. We're going to throw in a Hearthstone. And if you pay that $5, you could get some bonus stuff, man. Maybe you'll get some extra, Anima or Soul Ash, or maybe that's taken a little too far. But can you not see this? They already have the cosmetics in the store. They're already saying, like, hey, you pay $15 a month, but for $20, like, you can get this super cool fire horse. And people buy it. People buy it. They're losing subscribers and making more money because people buy this shit. And if you can't see that somewhere down the road, they're going to do something like this, like, there's going to be a lot of backlash. But how much are they going to care when they can lose people and make more money? But can you not just see, like, yeah, you already, like, hey, everybody gets 90% of this, 95% of this for free, but for $5, you get 5% extra. Hey, guys, instead of it costing you $20 to get this fire horse in the shop, like, you could pay $5 and just play the game. And if you play enough and do enough daily quests and, do enough rep and grind Choregast and everything else, like, you'll just get the fire horse. $5, man. We saved you $15. Saved you $15. Like, maybe it's a conspiracy theory, maybe it's too tinfoil hat or whatever, but 3 to 5 years, at most, I could see that happening, and I think that's what they'll do. And I think in the meantime, what they're going to do is they're going to walk out the games that they're working on. They're going to showcase more gameplay. They're going to showcase more, like, features and things for these games that aren't out, because they understand that they don't actually have anything going on. Okay, they have Hearthstone expansions, they have the Burning Crusade Classic, and they have 9.1. And I'm pretty sure that's all that's happening this year for Activision Blizzard, or Blizzard specifically. And so I think they're going to parade out Overwatch 2, some Diablo 4 footage, some more Diablo Immortal. Maybe they'll even get desperate enough to announce one of the other new games they're working on, whether it's a new IP or a new mobile game or whatever. But I think that's what they're going to do. So, I don't know. I feel like this rant has been long enough. And I tried the best that I could to be objective in the sense of just, like, understanding where both sides are coming from. But, I wanted to express myself as well in my opinions here. And I think I did a fairly good job at doing that without ranting and raving and getting too upset about it. But all these things are contributing factors to the reason why I don't want to play World of Warcraft anymore, and why it doesn't have the same hold on me and it doesn't engage me in the same way as it has before. And it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. And, I guess briefly something that I want to mention here is, like, I never wanted to not enjoy World of Warcraft. Like, that just, it's so stupid to think that. And I don't know if anybody out there thinks that, but, he just doesn't want to make WoW content anymore. It's like, why? Why would I choose to not want to enjoy World of Warcraft and to not want to make content for it when I had a channel that was growing based on World of Warcraft content that people were enjoying? I had Patreon subscribers. I had ad revenue on YouTube. I was getting views on my videos. And basically at this point, like, since switching away from it, it's not that I'm on a dead channel, but, my channel is just, like, bobbing, like, barely treading water. My most recent videos, he's less than 500 views, like, every time. And it really is just a matter of, like, why would I do that? Why would I want to not enjoy WoW, not make content for it, and kill all the growth and momentum that I had, and lose some of the community that I was building up? But at the end of the day, like, I've got one life, right? My time is limited, my time is valuable. And in spite of all that, I don't want to spend it on something that I genuinely, like, just don't enjoy. And I've had a lot of fun with the videos that I've been making here recently. I'm excited about making these Path of Exile beginner guides and some of the other things that are coming up here on the channel. And I don't know if I'll ever find that growth and that momentum again here on YouTube. But that's okay. Like, that's okay, because like I said, I've got one life to live. My time is valuable, and I'd rather spend it on the things that I enjoy and with the people that enjoy those things or enjoy me ranting and talking about them, whatever the case may be. And so, I'm going to close out this video saying that if you are having fun in World of Warcraft, you enjoy it, and you're looking forward to the upcoming patch, man, no hate, no love lost, okay? You might not have the same issues as I do. You might be totally fine with all this. And you know what? That's great. And I honestly kind of envy you, because like I said, it's not that... Why would I want to stop enjoying a game? Like any game. If I'm having fun with a game, why would I ever be like, yeah, I want to stop enjoying this? Like, no, I want that enjoyment to go on for as long as possible. And if you're able to maintain that and do that with World of Warcraft, then consider yourself one of the lucky ones right now, and cherish that for as long as you can, because who knows when Blizzard will make the next crazy decision that makes you part of those 11 million players that have left. So we'll see how things go in the future. Just know that I'm continuing to keep an eye on World of Warcraft and all things Blizzard, and I am still really looking forward to Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4, and possibly making content for those when they come out. But at the moment, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to put out these Path of Exile videos. I'm going to slam in some Arcanium here and there, and continue to check out cool indie games, and hopefully to introduce you all to some games that maybe you wouldn't have noticed before. So thanks for watching this long. If you have, let me know if you like this video, and if you want to see more things like this where I just rant and rave about whatever topics are out there. If you have an idea for a topic, throw that in the comment section below as well, and maybe I'll get up the urge to talk about it. So again, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe if you want more videos like this one, or more video game guides, and I'll catch you all on the next video.